basically, it's free. Okay? So kailangan natin pumunta sa classroom.google.com if you're using laptops. Pag sa laptop tayo gagamit, ganito yung magiging itsura ng classroom natin. So we can create different classrooms for our different classes. Okay? We can create classrooms for subjects, no? We can also create classrooms para sa ato ang school learning action cell. Yan. So let's try to think, no, kung asa nato pwede gamitin ang Google Classroom. Okay. So that's it. We can actually organize our classes, okay, into sections, okay, into periods. Yan. Okay. And another thing is yan. Ito yung itsura ng Google Classroom, no? So, sorry. Ito yung mga different classrooms na nakikita nyo ngayon sa screen. You can create classrooms for your different classes. And if you open one of those classes, okay, halimbawa, open natin yung isa, okay, ito na yung sa loob ng Google Classroom na makikita natin. So let's familiarize ourselves kung ano yung nasa loob ng Google Classroom. Ayan. So meron tayong stream. So the purpose of the stream here is basically for communication. Okay, so we post announcements here. Okay, our students can also interact with us here. So it's like Facebook. Okay, para siyang Facebook, no? Kung ato ang wall sa Facebook, you can post anything here. So you can post a status update. Your students can also post and can share links, mga websites. You can post that here as a stream. And then the second tab is the classwork. Okay, dyan natin ilalagay ating mga materials. Sisilitin natin yun mamaya. And then we have people. Dyan natin makikita yung roster of learners. And then grades. Ayan. So we can also give grades to the submissions, to the assignments of our learners here. Okay. Now, another reason why Google Classroom is good is that it works with smartphones. Okay? Pwede natin i-download sa ating mga mobile phones from Google Play Store. You can also download it sa iOS. No? So kapag nasa smartphone siya, for now, mas marami tayong estudyante na may mga smartphones compared to our students with laptops. So that's also one thing that we can consider. So pwede nilang magamit ang Google Classroom kahit wala silang laptop. They can answer activities kahit wala silang laptops. Okay? They can answer quizzes kahit wala silang laptops. Okay? And of course, they can learn anywhere while doing some other things. Okay? Although we don't promote multitasking kapag nasa online classroom tayo. Dapat one at a time kapag nasa online classroom tayo. Ayan, so it works with smartphones. Ganito naman yung itsura niya sa smartphone. Ayan, so it can fit your screen. So same pa rin, kahit nasa smartphone, no? Meron pa rin tayong stream, meron pa rin tayong parang Facebook, you can still post anything. Yung sa ating stream, nandyan pa rin yung classwork. Ayan, so makikita pa rin nila yung contents, and then we have here people. Okay. Yeah. Next is, another reason is it has many great features. So ano yung mga features na ina-expect natin sa Google Classroom? Okay. So basically, number one is, which is actually our goal, why we're going to use Google Classroom, is to make our learning materials accessible to our learners. So before Google Classroom, sabi ko, our idea would be to send our materials sa ating mga learners, maybe through email, or maybe through group chat, doon tayo mag-upload ng PowerPoint presentations natin. Pero yun siya, hindi siya organized. No? Mahirap balikan ng estudyante, mag-scroll up kung doon tayo sa group chat. At kung sa email naman, it can be buried. No? Kapag maraming subscription sa email, marami tayong nare-receive na email. But with Google Classroom, we have one place where all of the learning materials can be accessed and it can be organized. Okay? Ganito yung itsura ng classwork if you are looking at my screen. Doon sa classwork na tab, okay, inside Google Classroom, meron tayong create button doon. Diyan sa create button, you can upload all types of learning materials. Okay? So if you can see my screen, naka-organize siya into different topics, no? May naririnig akong microphone. Okay, so let's just continue. So ganito ang mangyayari sa classwork. And I can show you a live version of that. Anong itsura niya in the live version, in the actual Google Classroom. So ito yung actual ko na Google Classroom. Marami akong ginawa ngayon for our summer flicks. And I will just open one. Makita natin kung ano yung itsura ng Google Classroom in yan, live. Okay, so ito yung ating Google Stream. Okay, so yung mga estudyante and you can post things here. Dito naman sa classwork, ito yung sinasabi ko, na we have one place for all our learning materials. Yan, you can organize it into topics and you don't need to upload them all at once. So if you're going to look at the dates of my uploads, so nag-start ako upload June, okay, and then I also have another upload by July, etc. Okay, and then by August, by October, by November. So depende no sa kung kailan na topic mo introduce, saka ka mag-upload ng iyong materials para ma-access ng iyong estudyante. At anong klase yung mga materials ang pwede mong ilagay dito? So pwede kang maglagay ng quiz, okay? Using Google Forms. Ayan. So mamaya, if we have time, I can also show you how we can use Google Forms to make a quiz. And then, ito, PowerPoint presentation. Ito, another PowerPoint presentation. This one is a video from YouTube. Ayan. And this one is a link to another website. Yan. So kahit anong materials pwede mong i-upload dito. PDF, PowerPoint presentations, videos, etc. Yan. So all your learning materials in one place. So pwedeng balik-balikan ng estudyante natin to. For example, kung meron tayong face-to-face learning, meron kang discuss face-to-face and maybe they haven't understood something, pwede nilang balikan ulit, no? So ito yung advantage na yung ating mga learning materials nasa Google Classroom because our learners can go back to this, no, if they are connected to the internet. Okay. Now, another feature is it makes collection of assignments easy. So, again, sa Google, kung walang Google Classroom at tapos gagamit tayo ng online learning, mahirap ang collection ng assignments. So how are you going to do it? Will you ask them to send it to you by group chat or by PM sa inyo yung assignment or isend sa inyo through email? So imagine if you have, say, 3 sections na tinuturuan tapos tag 50 students per section. So that would be 150. So imagine ang influx ng email na papasok sa'yo kapag gagamitin mo lang is sending by email ang pag-collect ng assignment or i-send sa'yo through Facebook PM. Although kung wala talagang choice, that will work for you. But Google Classroom is going to make collection of assignments very easy. So I'm going to show you how it works. No? Ayan. So for example, doon pa rin sa classwork kanina, you are going to create an assignment. And then automatically, yung assignment, mag-appear yan doon sa application ng bata, doon sa kanyang Google Classroom. He or she will be notified na meron siyang assignment na kailangan gagawin. Okay? And then, doon sa assignment, syempre, meron kang instructions, yan, meron kang kung anong learning material ang kailangan mong i-attach doon, pwede kang mag-attach. Sa assignment, pwede ka rin maglagay ng video. You can ask them, oh, watch this video, and then you can attach a worksheet and answer this worksheet, complete this worksheet after watching the video. Okay, I'm back. Ayan. Na-mute yata ako ni Sir Roy. Okay, so here, where was I? Ayan. So in your assignment, you can upload any material, no? You can attach any material. And halimbawa, meron kang 39 students, tapos meron kang worksheet na kailangan pasagutan sa mga estudyante. Okay? So you don't need to create, say, in this example, I have 34 learners here. So I have 34 learners, okay? And I have to give them a worksheet. I don't have to create 34 worksheets, no? I just have to create one and then upload it in the assignment tab dito sa Google Classroom. And I can just select create copy for each student. Automatically si Google Classroom gagawa na ng 34 na worksheets, isa-isa for each learner. Yan. So it makes things really a lot easier. Yan. Yan. And then when our students are done with their assignments, they're going to turn in the term that's being used here in Google Classroom is to turn in assignments. So, paano sila mag-turn in ang assignments? Okay, depende din sa assignment na ibibigay mo. One way to give assignment, and then we're going to do this later. Okay? One way to make an assignment is to create a Google document account, Google Docs. Okay? So gagawa ng Google Docs account and then sasagutin nyo ng estudyante, merong button lang sila na i-click doon na turn in and automatically papasok na siya. So we will demonstrate that later. Okay? So for now, I'm just showing you how Google Classroom organizes assignments. Ayan. So again, because it's all automated, automatically pagkatapos nag-submit yung mga learners, makakuha ka na ng data kaagad kung sino na yung nakasubmit, sino yung hindi. Ayan. So I have here an example. So nakikita natin, out of 34, 33 ang nakasubmit kaagad ng kanilang output. Ayan. So nakalagay dyan, turned in. Merong isa na assign pa rin. Ibig sabihin, hindi pa siya nakasubmit. Ayan. At makikilala mo kaagad, makikita mo kaagad, oy, it's missing. Ayan. So it really simplifies your work. Madali mo lang ma-follow up yung estudyante mo na hindi pa nakapag-submit. Ayan. So that's how it is sa assignments. Okay. Next is, Google Classroom also makes grading very simple. Makes it easier. Kasi meron na siyang embedded grading feature. You can easily assess the job. No? And if you have Google Classroom in your phone, kung busy ka, marami kang ginagawa, okay, you can actually check assignments, no, while doing something else. No? Halimbawa, nagapila ka sa KCC, waiting for your turn na makapasok sa grocery store. Yan, you can just pull out your phone and check your Google Classroom account and you can start checking assignments there. So how does the grading feature of Google Classroom look like? So ganito yung kanilang itsura. Ayan. Sa grades tab, ayan, makikita mo yung mga estudyante mo on the left side and all the activities that you have given them. Ayan. So pwede kang maglagay sa kanila ng grades doon. Ayan. Pwede mong iset yan kung ano yung maximum grade na ibibigay. Ayan. And then, masasummarize na rin sino yung mga may maraming kulang, sino yung hindi nakasubmit. Ayan. So if you're wondering bakit maraming missing yan, because some of the students actually prefer to submit offline. Ayan. In this case, kasi hindi pa naman natin sila fino-force na gumamit ng purely online learning. Kaya yung iba, missing yan because they submitted offline. Ayan. But then again, if you're going to use Google Classroom pure online, madali lang tayo magbigay ng grade. Without leaving the application, you can start rating your learners. Okay. Next is giving comments. Okay, giving comments to the work of your students is also important, and that could be done, okay, also in Google Classroom. Yeah. So I have here an example. Yeah. So if you want to encourage your student, you can actually give a comment if that's in Google Classroom. So you can give comments to your learners aside from giving grades. Ayan. Pwede ka rin magbigay ng mga notes. And if there are specific comments na gusto mong sabihin, you can also do so, no? So you can clarify from the answers of the students, okay? Yan. You can give comments. Yan. Okay. Next is, it can be integrated with other apps. Ito yung sinasabi ko, yung Google Classroom can actually work with all the other Google apps that we are using. Yeah. Example is, ayan. So you can create, this is how you create an assignment. Dito sa classwork tab, you just click the create button, and then, ito yung mga pwede mong i-post. Pwede ka maglagay ng assignment, pwede ka maggawa ng quiz assignment, yan. Pwede ka mag-post ng question and that your students can answer. You can upload a material. Yan, you can reuse a post. Mamaya, sabihin natin kung bakit. Yan. So here, example natin dito is a quiz assignment. How are you going to give a quiz assignment? So, automatically, if you selected quiz assignment, Google will make a Google Forms na blank quiz for you. Ayan. Ayan. So yung blank quiz using Google Forms. So pwede ka na magdagdag ng mga questions dito, multiple choice questions, pwede rin fill in the blanks, no? Pero mas maganda pag multiple choice questions kasi mas madali siya ma-check. Ayan. And then, lalagyan mo lang ng title, maglalagay ka rin ng instruction sa iyong assignment, and then you can select kung saang sections mo siya ibibigay. Ayan. You can also select all students or just select students. Pwede kang magbigay ng special assignment to just 1, 2, 3, or some of your students. No? Hindi sa lahat. Ayan. You can assign how many points you can give. You can also set the date. Ayan. So ito yun, when you set the date, it can be integrated right away into Google Calendar. And it's going to be very useful, no? Kapag nasa Google Calendar na siya, because your students can be reminded na meron silang upcoming assignment. Halimbawa, naglagay ka dito ng due date. This is due on Monday. Yan. So depende doon sa calendar setting mo, pwede kang mag-send ng notification to your students before the due date. So pwedeng a day before, pwedeng an hour before, pwedeng through email, pwedeng through cellphone. Actually, they can be notified through text kapag na-register yung kanilang mga mobile phones, or notification sa Android notification. And then you can organize your assignment. So if you look back kanina, yung ating sa classwork, naka-organize siya into topics, pwede ka rin dito mag-select ng topic para yung quiz mo, papasok siya doon sa category, doon sa topic mo, organize pa rin siya. You can also add rubrics, no? Yan. For authentic assessment, hindi lang siya purely points. Pwede kang maglagay ng rubrics, and then merong originality reports. Yan. So, papakita ko mamaya ano yung example ng originality reports na yan. Okay. Next is, yan. So yung ating Google Classroom can be integrated with other apps. Nandito yung mga apps. Actually, itong screenshot ko, hindi pa ito masyadong updated kasi nakalagay pa lang dito is Google Drive folder, tsaka Google Calendar. So ibig sabihin ito, Google Drive, all your files that you upload here in the Google Classroom will also be saved in the Google Drive. Ayan, automatically magkakaroon siya ng folder in Google Drive. Okay? So for those of you might already be familiar with Google Drive, ayan. So magka-create siya automatic under the classroom folder, tsaka yung name ng classroom mo. Automatic na ito, hindi na ikaw ang gagawa nito. It's Google Classroom that will create this automatically for you. So your materials that you applied on Google Classroom will automatically be saved in Google Drive. Ayan. Next is Google Calendar. Kaya sinabi ko kanina, yung mga assignments that you create will also reflect in the Google Calendar. So ito yung itsura ng Google Calendar. Ayan. So for example, meron tayong summative quiz, okay, na ginawa, and then you uploaded it as an assignment doon sa Google Classroom. Ayan. and meron siyang date dito, January 31, papasok siya doon sa calendar. Okay. So automatically, mareremind yung ating learners. Pati ikaw mismo, mareremind ka na merong mga assignment pala na kailangan isubmit yung mga bata at kailangan mo makita. So if you look at the left side of the calendar, marami dito nakalista yung mga Google Classrooms ko. Yung mga naka-check, ibig sabihin na yung mga active. Yan. Yung mga hindi naka-check, yan yung mga data ng mga classrooms. So automatically na-integrate siya into your calendar. Yan. So which is really good. Okay? Yan. Next is, yan. Aside from integration with other Google apps, you can actually integrate your Google Classroom with other third-party apps. Okay? Yung mga labas na sa Google. Ang example ko dito is itong Flipgrid. Okay? Flipgrid, this is actually a video feedback app. No? So what you can do here is you can create a video. Yan, gawa ko ng video instruction. Okay? And then your students will also respond with a video. One of the problems kasi kapag online tayo is that isa sa mga concerns natin would be the originality of the work of the students. No? Ay, baka tutulungan ito ng kapatid, hindi siya talaga yung sumagot doon sa kanyang online assignment, ay tinulungan ito ng tatay, yung tatay yung gumawa. But here in Flipgrid, okay, your students can make a video at sila mismo yung sasagot dun sa question. Yan. So pwedeng mag-refer sila to another site, no, para sa kanilang sagot. Okay? But then again, at least they will explain it to you here in a form of a video. Ayan. And other learners can also view their answers. So it's a good way of sharing. Okay? But this is already outside Google, no? Itong Flipgrid. Pero in-integrate ko siya sa Google Classroom. And so ganun yung ganun yung Google Classroom. It has integration with other applications. Ayan. Next is, in connection to sinabi ko kanina, na our concern would be originality of the work. Now, Google Classroom has a built-in plagiarism checker, especially for textual na mga assignments. If you're asking your learners to answer essay questions, and then they just copied and pasted their response from another website, or they shared answers with their classmates, you can actually check that. A Google Classroom can actually show you that these students have the same answers, similarity with other students, or this student has actually copied and pasted answers from another website. Okay? So this is how it looks like. Ito yung originality report kanina. Okay? So this is an example. Ayan, for my learner, meron nakalagay dito, 2% flag content. So ibig sabihin, 2% of the answer of this particular student was directly copied, no? Or probably copied from a source. Ayan. And 20% yun cited. So ibig sabihin, properly naman, na-cite naman or na-quote naman yung content, or in-embed niya, hinalo niya sa kanyang answer. Ayan. And it will show you kung saan galing na website. For example, ito, nakalagay, kinuha siya ng estudyante from coursehero.com. Ayan. So if you are concerned with plagiarism, no, na copying answers, not original reports, not original output, so Google Classroom can also do it for you. So meron lang siya doon nakalagay, check originality. And for now, ngayon lang, I don't know, medyo hindi siya, medyo slow siya ngayon. I wanted to demonstrate it to you, pero medyo slow siya. Buti na lang nakapag-screenshot ako before. Okay? And finally, okay, why I chose Google Classroom, I think Google Classroom is superior to most online platforms, is that it is designed to help teachers automate and simplify. Yeah. Especially with doing repetitive things. Yeah. This is an example. So kanina, I showed you that in the classwork, you can reuse posts. Meron doon create and reuse posts. So if you've been using Google Classroom over time, no, marami ng school year na ginagamit mo yung Google Classroom, you can actually use the post that you have already shared before. Yan. Yan yung kinaganda. Ang mahirap lang actually talaga sa Google Classroom is yung sa umpisa when you are still establishing your Google Classroom. But once you've been doing this, yan, yung mga nagawa mo na learning materials, madali mo na lang siyang i-reuse. Madali mo na lang siyang i-post dito sa Google Classroom. Google Classroom allows you to do that. So, parehas lang siya bitaw in our setting that you have your Manila paper, di ba? You want your Manila paper to be used next year. So, you use Scotch tape. You put Scotch tape on the sides of the Manila paper. Okay? Para magamit pa next year. Parang ganito din. Ito lang, medyo mas durable. Mas tumatagal to, hindi siya mawawala. Especially if it's on Google Drive, kahit masira yung laptop mo, masira yung mga USB mo, masira yung mga external drive mo, it's still going to be there because it is safe in Google Drive. That's one good thing about Google Classroom. So halimbawa, meron akong mga archived classes. Ito yung mga matagal ko na ng mga classes previous years. But Google Classroom will still allow me to post materials that I've already used in these archived classes. No? So ganito, pag mag-create ako ng material and then I would choose reuse post, lalabas dito kung aling classroom ko, saan classroom ko kukunin from the past, yung mga old classrooms ko. Okay. So it really makes things a lot easier. And eto, okay. Another thing that you might be worried about is kapag gagamit ba ako ngayon ng Google Classroom and I have 150 students, do I have to enroll them one by one? Murag LIS, diba? You have to encode them one by one. But in Google Classroom, gladly, no. Kasi ang gagawin lang natin dito sa Google Classroom is we simply give them the class code. Tapos ang gagawin ng estudyante mo, yung class code, iba-ibang class code yan for different Google Classroom that you will create. You simply have to send the Google Classroom to your learners, okay, in any way that you can. Yan. And then the student will simply join Classroom, the Google Classroom by encoding this class code. Yan. And meron pang bago ngayon, actually, kung I will show you the actual classroom. Yan. Let's go back to halimbawa. Ito bago ngayon, yung mga kaka-create ko lang. This is for our summer flicks, wala pang learners. Okay? Yung Google kasi lagi siyang nag-upgrade no, ng kanyang mga features because they listen to teachers. So maraming mga nagsasuggest sa kanila na you add this, you add that. Actually dati yung grading, wala pa yan siya sa Google Classroom. Hindi ka pa, wala pa tong grade na tab in Google Classroom. Bago lang nila ito nilagay. Okay? At meron pa talagang bago, nilagay lang nila, I think this was just last month. Yan. Meron ng automatic na Google Meet link. Yan. So kung gusto mong i-meet ang mga learners mo, yan, pwede ka nang automatically na mag-create ng Google Meet link straight from Google Classroom. No? You don't need to I'm hearing feedback. May naka-on na microphone. All right. Okay. So yeah, you can generate a Google Meet link here. So you can schedule, say, once a week or twice a week na mag-meet kayo with your learners. Yeah. Or anytime your learners would like to also meet with each other, they simply have to create this generate Meet link. Pwede na silang magkita-kita. Yeah. So this is how it works. Okay. So, meron ba tayong question so far before we proceed with how to actually start creating your Google Classroom? So, basically, yun yung mga features, no? That's these are the reasons why I use Google Classroom. So, yun yung mga overview. Yun yung mga ma-expect natin from Google Classroom. Now, if you have questions before we proceed, Check natin sa chat kung merong questions. Mukhang wala naman. Ay, sorry. Pwede na slideshow para medyo malaki kanina pa yata ito. Okay. Alright. Anyway. So, walang questions. So we proceed now to how do you create your Google Classroom. So we start here, go back tayo. Again, you just have to go to classroom.google.com. That's where you're going. Yeah. Pwede rin ito, again, pwede ka rin gumawa ng Google Classroom kahit sa app mo in your Android phone or iPhone. Okay? Yan. Same lang yung kanyang principle. Yan. So you simply have to go to Google Classroom. Mas maganda sa website talaga para mas marami tayong options. Okay? So just go to classroom.google.com. Yan. If it's your first time to use Google Classroom, this will of course be empty. Wala ka pang makikita dito. Yan. And then, meron tayo dito sa upper right corner, meron tayong plus sign dito. You just have to click that and then create class. Okay. Dalawa lang ang option dito. You either join class or create class. But of course, if you are the teacher, you're going to create class. Sa mga estudyante naman natin, we tell them to join class. Well, anyway, sa mga email naman that ends with @gmail.com, I don't think if it's already been changed, but they're not allowed to create classes. Only those who are using Google Suite accounts. So tayo, yung mga DepEd email natin, yun yung gagamitin natin kasi Google Suite account yun. Okay? So we are going to use our DepEd emails to create our classes here. So create a class. So I'm going to demonstrate how to do this. So just create a class and it will open this dialog box here. So you can name your class any names. Depende sa inyo. As long as siguro short enough na makita niyo yung full title. Kasi kung masyadong mahaba din, hindi mo nakikita yung full title. So medyo mahirapan ka mag-sort kapag masyado ng marami. Okay? Pwede mong ilagay dito, say, ang best practice ko is to write the section of the class section and then the subject in the name. So halimbawa, yan, section namin is, let's say, Jupiter, and the subject is science. Yan. So just name it Jupiter Science. Yan. Recently lang, naglalagay ako ng school year in the name kasi nga marami na Google Classroom later on, dami na yung Google Classroom na makikreate ninyo and you want to be reminded, you want to be sure kung anong school year mo to ginawa. So I would add the school year. So say 2020, 2021. Kayo na po bahala actually. But these things, ang sinasabi ko sa inyo, these are the things that I think has made it convenient for me. Baka iba din ang convenience sa inyo. And then section, lagay mo ulit, Twitter. Yeah. And then the subject area, science, and then after this is not, you don't really have to fill all of this in. And you can add the room if you like. And then, you go to create. And then automatically, magka-create na si Google Classroom ng Google Classroom mo. And once you create a Google Classroom, automatic na rin na magka-create siya ng, kanina sinabi ko, automatically magka-create siya ng Google Drive folder entitled Classroom. And then magkaroon siya ng subfolder na yung name ng classroom na ginawa ninyo. So, Google Classroom is very intelligent. No? Kung nakita nyo, alam niyo na science yung subject, automatically nag-design na siya kaagad ng ganitong header. You can actually change this if you have lots of time and if you really want to customize your page, you can actually change this. No? You can select themes from all that's available here, no? Depending on the subject area. Pwede rin kayong mag-upload ng sarili nyong picture. Yan. Pwede kayong mag-select dito depending on the subjects. No? Yan. So marami. You can design your own classroom. pwede rin kayo mag-upload. Ayan. So, if you look at the stream tab, yan, empty pa ito, wala pa kasi wala pang nagpo-post. This is a new classroom. Yan. Now, tingnan natin na dito nakalagay yung inyong class code. Ayan. Yan, pwede nyo palakihin kung hindi nyo nakikita yung inyong class code. Ito lang yung ibibigay ninyo sa mga learners. Now, I want to use this as an example, no? For those of you who are using your laptops, okay, can you please go to classroom.google.com and join this class para makita natin kung how this works. Join muna kayo as student muna. Okay? So ito yung ating link para ma-experience ninyo kung ano yung nasa loob ng Google Classroom. Again, you go to classroom.google.com and then i-click lang ninyo yung plus sign on the upper right corner and then you join class. So I want you, those of you who are using laptops and have good internet connection, yan, to please go to classroom.google.com and then enter my classroom using this code. And our code is 23 small letters FW, 33 and small letter O. Ayan. Tingnan natin kung sino yung makaka-join. Definitely, yung mga makaka-join, yung mga makakapasok, they will appear here. So for now, wala pa. Hopefully, meron makakapasok para ma-demonstrate natin. So wala pa. So again, yung ating I'm using our RSHS email, so probably hindi kayo makakapasok. Wait lang, I have to set the settings. Wait lang. Gagawa ako ng bago. Classroom.google.com. Okay, let's try to create another COVID-19 classroom. Okay, Sarangani. Subject ICT. Ayan. So, baguhin natin yung code. Ito yung code natin pala. V2TZ7GG. Sige. Dito na lang tayo. Try natin to. Kasi nakaano pala yun. Ang ginamit ko pala kanina is our RSHS email. So, parang hindi pwede sumali doon. Kasi naka-private yan. Try natin dito sa Google Classroom na to. Okay? So for those of you who are online, no, sa laptop and you have good connection, please proceed to classroom.google.com and try nyo kung makakapasok kayo dito. Ayan. So meron na tayo nakapasok si Sir Jesse Pagaran. Ayan. Ma'am Maria Fe, thank you. Ayan. So hindi talaga kayo nakapasok doon sa ano kanina, no? Doon sa ginawa ko na Jupiter kasi ano yun, naka-private yun. Pero dito tayo sa DepEd natin na email, yan. So, ginamit ko yung aking DepEd email to create this, yan. So, if you look at the screen, yan, anybody can post here. Can somebody please post a YouTube video? Sino pwede mag-post ng YouTube video? Yan, pwede rin mag-post dito ng link para ma-demonstrate lang natin that we can post anything actually here. Kung sino mga ano dyan, mabibilis yung internet, Mary Faith Inong, Marlene Gonzaga, ayan. Yan, Earl John Monto, ayan. And you can also comment to each other, ayan. So, di ba, exciting, ayan. So, sinong gusto mag-sample dyan, maglagay ng video or link? Ayan, so meron YouTube. Mas ano ito, if you add a URL, halimbawa, ito yung link, no? Kakopy natin. So you add actually mag-add tayo ng YouTube. Ayan, so mas madali. Hindi ka na aalis dito. So search tayo ng COVID Philippines. Anong update ng COVID in the Philippines? You don't have to leave. Ayan, so meron tayo dito. It's a news. So add, yun lang. So you can write something, watch this update on COVID-19 cases in the Philippines. All right, and then I'm going to post this. Ayan. So mas maganda yung display niya kaysa just copying the link, no? And you also have to best practice then. You also have to say something, no? When you post something on Facebook, yan, you make sure you also have a message to your learners. Okay, very good. Yan, thank you very much, Ma'am Heidi. Okay, next is ilan na nandito? Yan. So ito na yung mga learners natin in this Google Classroom. So ang dami na. Ayan. I can actually message each one of you. Pwede ako mag-email sa inyo. Yan. Isa-isa. Yan. Another, pwede ka rin magdagdag ng estudyante. Yan. You can also enroll them. Yan. You can also add co-teachers. Yan. Sino gustong ma-invite as co-teacher ko para siya ang gagawa ng assignment? Okay? Doon sa chat ng email para ma-invite ko. Sinong gusto? Again, mag-wait ako dito sa my chat. Sino yung gusto ma-invite as teacher? Yes, Ma'am Evan, you can send email to all. You just have to check all the boxes. No? Ito. Yan. Dito, check mo lang to. Yan. Check, ibig sabihin, check mo lahat. Yan. And then you can send an email to all of them. Yan. Okay? Pwede mo silang i-mute lahat. Ibig sabihin, pagbabawalan mo silang mag-post doon sa screen. Yan. Okay, meron namang gusto mag-act as teacher. Students also can leave. Wait lang ha, may mga questions. Ano yung code ulit? So yung code, nandito yan sa screen. The code is small letter V, 2, small letter T, small letter Z, number 7, tsaka GG. Ayan. Okay? So, kailangan gamitin niyo yung DepEd email, no? Kasi yun lang yun yata yung makakreate ng classroom. I haven't tried, no, kung makakreate pa ng classroom yung regular Gmail account. But as far as I know, this is exclusive for Google Suite account yung creation ng classroom. Okay? Walang gusto maging teacher. Sino gusto maging teacher? Pwede daw yung regular Gmail. Pwede kang gumawa ng classroom. Okay? Pakipost dito ng sa group chat ng email ang gustong maging teacher. Add po ng email po, yung email niyo, pakipost po yung gusto maging co-teacher. Dito sa chat, pakipost po. Sige, try natin, sir. Try natin, ma'am, kung pwede ka bang maging teacher kung try natin. Ito na. Ma'am Heidi. Wait lang. We will make Ma'am Heidi a co-teacher. Ayan. So dito sa people, mag-a-add ako ng teacher. Si Ma'am Heidi was invited. By the way, I have another tip for your Gmail accounts. Ayan. Open natin yung Gmail natin dito. This is also based on my experience, a better way of organizing your email. You go to your Gmail and then you click on the settings. Yan. Yan, dito sa may gilid, meron tayong parang gear button dito. Yan. So, click on the settings here. Open natin yung settings. And then, dito sa inbox, yan, general labels saka inbox, i-check natin yung updates. Kasi usually, naka-uncheck yan, hindi kasama yung updates. But I think this is a better way of organizing your email. You check on the updates here. Okay? And then, okay na yan siya. Okay, you save changes kung change kayo. You look at your inbox. Siguro sa ngayon, sa inyo, I don't know if that's it. So meron tayong primary inbox. So dito talaga yung mga main emails ninyo. Hindi siya mahahalo with your other email. Okay? And then we have the social. Ito naman yung sa mga subscription ninyo sa YouTube, sa Facebook, etc. And then dito sa promotions, yan yung mga other emails from mga vendors, no? Yan, or may mga promotions, ito yung papasok. Yung mga nagsasubscribe kayo sa mga offers, mga deals. And then ito yung updates, ito yung maganda, nakaseparate din yung mga updates. Kung meron kayong mga invitations sa Google Drive, mga mag-reset ng mga passwords or etc. Dito yung lahat papasok, no? So mas na-organize natin yung ating mga email. So I hope you can also follow this as a good practice. Yeah. So primary social promotions updates, again, dito yan sa settings, you click settings and then inbox and then you check the updates here para lalabas yun. Okay? So meron na si Ma'am Heidi, hindi pa siya nakapasok as teacher. May invitation na, so si Ma'am Heidi should check her email. Dito niya yun makikita sa updates. Ayan. Yung invitation sa kanya. So mukhang hindi siya nakapasok. Hanap pa tayo ng isang gusto maging teacher. Tingnan natin. Sila pa yun? Sir, ito. Try natin itong si Ma'am Ethel. Ito. Ma'am or sir ba ito? Check natin. We will add you as a teacher. Invite. Ayun, so na-invite na natin si Ma'am Ethel. Ethel Somera, Ethelbert. Please check your email. Sino pa yun? Sige, magdagdag tayo na marami. Ito si Eric Pasco. Classmate ko to before. Check natin. I-add tayo. Sige, check natin ha. Si Sir Rogelio Lasconia, i-add natin. Marami na tayong co-teachers. Ayan. So team teaching tayo dito. Ayan, si Ma'am Ethel is already a teacher. Co-teacher dito sa ating page. Okay, so Ma'am Ethel, what I want you to do, if you're listening, and Sir Eric, okay, yung mga na-invite natin na teacher, okay, please go to stream, and then I'd like you to create an assignment. Sorry, dito tayo sa classwork. Okay, sorry. Dito tayo sa classwork, I want you to start creating an assignment. Okay, create tayo ng sample assignment. Okay, so, create an assignment. Okay, create tayo ng sample assignment. Okay, so, create tayo ng sample assignment. Okay, 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 create tayo ng sample assignment. Okay And then, ayan. So, create tayo sample assignment, no? So, assignment number 1. I'd like to ask the other teachers to also do the same. Try tayo mag-create ng assignment. So, bigyan tayo ng example. So, say, accomplish the attached form. Or, I don't know, ano bang magandang assignment. So, create tayo dito, no? Pwede tayo mag-create ng document. Pwede tayo mag-create ng slides. Pwede tayo mag-create ng sheets, drawings, and forms. And then automatically, papasok na ito sa Google Drive natin. So halimbawa, the easiest assignment to make is a Google Docs. Okay? So halimbawa, yan. So mag-create tayo ng Google Docs and it will open an untitled document. Yan. So assignment number 1 ito. Assignment number 1. So halimbawa, self-introduction. Yeah. So, introduce yourself in 3 sentences. Okay? Halimbawa, ito yung assignment natin. Okay? So this document can be edited by the student later on. So ganito lang ka-simple. Okay? Again, ang ginawa ko is I wrote a title, assignment number 1. So instead of form, document, accomplish the attached document. So nag-create lang ako, nag-create siya ng untitled document. So that's it. So automatically masisave na yan. You don't have to save to do anything para ma-save. All the changes are saved in Drive. So I can actually close this right away. And then I can, ito na yung option natin mamaya, yung document kanina ginawa ko. I can either choose student can view the file, student can edit the file, make copy for each student. This is a better choice. You make a copy for each student. Yung sinasabi ko, lahat ng nandun sa naka-join sa ating Google Classroom will have a copy of each. Yan, nung document na yon na nakapangalan sa kanila. Ayan. Pag students can edit the file naman, pag in-open na yung file, lahat sila will be opening the same file. So, yung mga sagot nila maghahalo-halo doon sa isang file. Okay? There will be applications for that also kung gusto nyo. So, you just have to try to imagine kung ano yung mga pwede nyo gawin. Yan. Pag students can view the file, hindi nila pwedeng i-edit, of course. So, titignan nila, it's just a set of questions. Okay? Baka instructions lang or something to read. So, ito ang pipiliin natin for now. Make a copy for each student. Ayan. Ayan. So, lahat ng mga estudyante natin dito sa Google Classroom na to will have a copy of the assignment, of the document. And so, ibibigay ko siya for my COVID-19 classroom, yung ginawa ko lang, and all students, 100 ang points. So, lalagyan natin ang due date. So, ang due date natin is also today, 15. Lagyan natin ang time, let's say, 1 p.m. So, mamayang hapon kaagad ang deadline. So, ibig sabihin, pag mamayang hapon, may magsasubmit ng later than 1 p.m., Google Classroom will already automatically mark it as submitted late, no? Yan. So, wala pa tayong topic. So, mag-create ako ng topic. So, let's say this is first quarter. Ganyan. So, automatically, mag-create ito in the classwork ng topic na ang title is first quarter. Pwede mo lagyan ng rubrics, pwede natin i-check yung originality reports. Yan. Yan. Okay? And then, you assign this. So, assign na natin.
Sir Ariel, wala ka sa screen.
Ay, sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Sir Roy, mukhang nawala ako sa screen. Sino nagpe-present? Sorry. Okay. So, nakikita na ba ulit? Sorry, nakaba nung ano ko.
Wala pa, sir. Ayan, okay na, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Ayan. Okay. So here, ito na yung ginawa ko na assignment. Itong iba, ibig sabihin ongoing pa ito, ginagawa ng mga ibang teacher. No? Ayan. So yun to, automatically yung topic na ginawa ko na first quarter, it's already here. And this is now the assignment that I made. Ayan. So balik ako ulit sa stream, yung nandito siya ngayon sa classwork, di ba? Pabalik ako ulit sa stream, automatically mag-notify din yun sa stream natin that I posted a new assignment which the learners can check. So pwede nyo itong i-open. So mga nandiyan ngayon, online, you please, tsaka nandito na sa ating Google Classroom, please open this, itong ating assignment. So pag i-open ko to, this is my view. Ito yung nakikita ko. Okay? So meron lang isang nakasubmit, saka meron pang 118 na hindi nakakasubmit. Ayan. So si Sir Fordex, nag-submit na siya. Okay? Sa mga hindi pa nakagawa, you can actually try to do this. Simple lang naman yung assignment. You just introduce yourself. So titinan ko yung work ni, dalawa na nakasubmit, tatlo. Titinan ko yung work ni Sir Fordex kasi siya yung una. Now, in my view, ganito ako makikita ko. Ayan. Okay. Ay, walang sagot si Sir. Oh. So makikita mo, hindi niya sinabit niya lang without answering. So marami din sigurong bata na ganyan, no? Para lang, ay, ano na ako, nakasabit na ako. So wala palang sagot. So hanap tayo ng may sagot para mabigyan ko ng grade. So since walang sagot si Sir, talagyan ko siya ng 0. Yan. So lagyan ko ng comment. You did not answer the question. Okay? Yan. So manonotify yan si Sir doon. So 0 yung score niya, ano ibabalik ko sa kanya. Yan. Kasi once nasubmit na, hindi niya na pwedeng i-edit yun. Pwede niya lang i-edit ulit once the paper has been returned to him at pwede siyang mag-resubmit. Okay? So since nag-comment ako na hindi niya sinagot yung question, ibabalik ko sa kanya, si Sir Fordex can return this to me. Mamaya, magsasubmit siya ulit na meron ng sagot. Okay? Ayan. So tingnan natin yung ibang sagot. Okay, Sir, sila nang nakasagot? Marami na, 4. May isa na akong nag-gradean at ibinalik. Yan. So, say, ito, kay Ma'am Julina. Okay. Uy, wala ding sagot. Okay? So, nag-submit lang, walang sagot. So, i-return ko lang, no answer. Please answer the question. That's a question. Please follow the direction. Sino kaya dito ang nag-submit na sinagot? Okay, turn in. Si Sir Roel. Alam ko si Sir Roel, mabait ito. So probably sinagot niya. Hopefully. Ayan. So ito na yung sagot ni Sir Roel Cervantes. I am Roel A. Cervantes. I'm a junior high school teacher. I teach grade 10 mathematics. So tatlong sentences. So ganun lang. So bibigyan ko siya ng 100. Well done. Well, pick it up. Okay. And so dito mamaya, actually, kung meron siyang kinopya, lalabas yan dito. Lalagay yan dito, ilang percent yung flag. Kasi just sinasabi ko na originality report. Baka meron din gusto mag-try dyan na mag-submit ng kinopya, copy-paste from the internet. Tignan natin kung ma-detect ni Google Classroom. And then I'm going to return this to Roel. Okay? Yan. So, that's how assignments work. So, very, very organized, no? Nandito na sila lahat all in one place. Pero may napansin ako na instead of answering the question, nag-comment sila dun sa work. Halimbawa, kasi ayan, ito si Ma'am Orais, yung sagot niya, kinoment niya doon. So, it was added as a private comment on assignment number 1. So, hindi ko siya ma-credit, hindi siya lalabas doon sa akin. Sa assignment. Dapat doon mismo, yan, ito sila mga nag-comment. Tignan natin. Ayan. So mga comment yung ginawa nila. Okay? Yan. Okay? So dapat ang process would be, hindi ko alam sa view ng student for now. Okay? Pero dapat you open the file and then you write your sentences. Ayan. So meron tayo dito, edited assignment. Okay. So sinabit ni Ma'am as PDF. Yan, I'm Shalini T. Dayday, live in Glan, 24 years old. So thank you. Bigyan ka na 100. Yan. Congratulations. Well done. Okay? Yan. Ay, 1,000 yung point sa sobraan. 100 lang yan. And then return. Okay. So let's check kung nakagawa na rin ng assignment sila, sir. So makikita natin dito, if we go back to our COVID classroom, ayan. So dito sa side na to, makikita lahat ng mga assignments na kailangan mong gawin. Ayan. So meron tayong assignment, yung assignment number 1 natin kanina, may mga nasumagot na, ICT Research. Ginawa ito ni sinong teacher ang gumawa nito. Yan, ito isa I think si Sir Eric ang gumawa nito. Ayan. So, makikita niyo lahat all in one place, yung mga assignments. So, ibig sabihin dito, nandito siya sa to review, ibig sabihin hindi ko pa ito na-check. Pag reviewed na, tapos ko na yung na-check yung assignments lahat. Yan. Pag hindi pa, nandito pa sila sa to review. Nasa to do pa sila. Okay? So, basically, ganun lang. Ganun. Yes? May question? Mukhang may nag-on ng microphone.
Hello, paki-off lang po ng pakilip lang po ng microphone.
Okay, ayan. So, ang ginawa naman dito ni Sir Eric na assignment is gumawa siya ng survey form. Ayan. So, ayan. So, may survey form siya ginawa. Okay? So, again, doon sa, if we go back to the kind of assignments that we can give sa classwork, okay? So, yung mga assignments na pwede natin gawin is, ayan. Pwede tayong gumawa ng document, okay? Pwede tayong gumawa ng slides, ayan. Pwede tayong gumawa ng sheet, pwede tayong gumawa ng Google Drawings, and forms. Ngayon naman is, halimbawa, gagawa naman ako ng quiz, assignment quiz. So how will it look like? And how convenient will it be? Okay? Yan. So pag yung mga ginawa ninyo, hindi nyo nilagyan ng topic, maghahalo-halo lang sila dito. So it's important na meron tayong ginawang lalagyan natin ng topic. Okay? So gagawa ako ngayon ulit ng quiz assignment naman. Okay? I want you all to answer this quiz later. Okay? So halimbawa, meron tayong first quiz. So quiz number 1. Please answer quiz below. Yan. Meron tayong instruction. So automatically, ito na yung blank quiz. Saka i-check natin itong grade importing para yung score nila sa quiz lalabas. Okay? So halimbawa, gagawa tayo ng blank quiz. Quiz. So, how do you turn a Google form into a quiz? So, madali lang siya, no? This is actually a basic form. You can turn any form into a quiz by checking here sa settings. So, sa settings, ayan na yung general. Ayan. Collect email address. This will only work again pag Google Suite. So, automatic nakalagin sila dapat. Okay, you can limit to 1 response para hindi sila mag-send ng maraming, sila mag-attempt na mag-answer ng maraming beses. So tanggalin ko yung restriction sa Department of Education para yung mga students natin na hindi, walang DepEd email, pwede silang sumagot. Okay? Pero i-limit natin to 1 response pero tinanggal natin yung restriction for DepEd email. And I would suggest you do this also because yung mga estudyante natin, of course, wala silang DepEd email. Ayan. So you can either ask them to edit after they submit or see the summary charts. So kung mga formative quiz to, okay lang. Okay? Pero kung hindi naman siya formative quiz, let's say if it's a graded quiz, so you have to kailangan naka-uncheck ito. Ayan. So dito sa presentation, so pwede tayong mag-shuffle ng question, pero mamaya kasi, I will show you bakit hindi maganda na mag-shuffle tayo ng question, but we can shuffle the answer. Yun ang aking isa-suggest. Ayan. And then, nandito sa quiz. Ayan. So ito lang actually ang nag-differentiate ng basic form tsaka yung quiz form. May slider tayo dito. You just have to turn this on. Make this a quiz. Ayan. And then, pwede mong for formative quiz, maganda na immediately after submission, makita kagad nila yung correct answers. Pero kung graded siya, most likely, you will choose later, manual review, kapag graded yung quiz. Kapag hindi naman siya graded, if it's just formative quiz again, pwedeng immediately after answering, after submission, makita nila yung score. Yan. Ito rin yung mga pwede mong ipakita. You can also choose to show them na makita nila yung mali nila na which question they got wrong, which questions they got correctly, tsaka ano yung points nila per question. Okay? So dito yan sa quiz. So actually, kayo na mag-iisip, ano bang dapat ninyong gawin on this part. But for me, again, yung pag-release ng grade, pag formative siya, maganda na ipakita kagad natin yung correct answers later on. Yan. Sige. And then, so save na natin ito. So title na natin ito ng Quiz 1. Okay. So ano yung mga pwede nating gawin na questions? So pwede tayong multiple choice, pwede short answer. Pero the best would be multiple choice. Okay? So halimbawa, what is the name of our SDS? So gagawa tayo ng choices. Ayan. Ayan. Okay, so halimbawa ganyan. So what is good also about quiz is that you can actually add pictures, no? To make it more interesting, especially for our younger learners. Mas maganda pag may nakikita silang pictures. May naka-on na
ulang. Your mic is off, Joe. Okay.
Wala, naka-on mo mic.
May naka-on na mic. Sorry, masakit sa tenga. Alright. Sorry, may naka-on na mic. May feedback. I'm hearing feedback. Okay. Okay. Again, pwede rin halimbawa, meron tayong mga diagrams, meron tayo, especially sa mathematics, no, or sa science, pwede may mga graph, ganyan. For example, pwede kayo So, Roy, feedback. Sakit sa tayo nga. May naka-on na mic. May naka-on na mic, Sir Roy. Sakit sa tayo sa... Okay. Oh, there. Okay. For example, no, sa mga mathematics and science questions, you can add photos here. You can add diagrams, ano ba dyan? May mga graph or charts, no? Yan, pwede. Mas maganda yun, meron tayong visual. Even sa choices, pwede rin image yung kanilang choices. So this will work no, sa mga, again, mga younger learners natin, mga visual learners natin. But for this question, okay na to. Okay? So make sure you check the required. Ayan. And then, lalagyan natin to ng score. So, halimbawa, this is worth 5 points. Ayan. Okay? Ayan. And then, meron pa tayong pwedeng gawin dito. Ayan. Shuffle option order. So, this is also one way of making sure na hindi sila magkopyahan ng sagot. So for every student, magkakaiba-iba yung arrangement ng choices. So pwedeng ito na choice, letter A, pwedeng nasa D siya pag sa isang estudyante, yung C natin, pwedeng nasa A, yung B natin, ganyan, nasa other choice, nasa C, mga ganon. Okay? So that is one way. So magdagdag na tayo ng isa pang question. Who is our ASDS? Okay, ayan, okay. And then, lagyan natin ng score. So, about 3 points. Halimbawa lang ito nga, not trying to win anything. And then, you shuffle the option order and then you mark it required. So, meron na akong dalawang questions. Ayan. So, automatically, this is worth 8 points. Papasok na ito ngayon dito sa aking assignment na ginawa. Ayan. So, leave lang natin yan. So, deadline natin, let's say, mamaya pa rin. Yan. Lagyan natin 1 p.m. or lagyan natin 10:30 or 10:25 a.m. Okay. So, lalagay ko pa rin siya doon sa first quarter para organize. I don't need to check originality reports. Okay? And now I will assign this. So, I would like to ask those of you yan, na nandito ngayon to, ayan, please answer the quiz para makita natin kung anong lalabas naman ngayon sa side ng teacher kapag naglagay siya ng quiz. At saka sa inyong part din. Anong mangyayari? Check tayo kung may questions. Yan. Hindi ko po makita yung introduce yourself na sa assignment. Okay, it's there in the classwork. Nandun sa quarter 1. Sa quarter 1, assignment number 1. Sa question ni Sir Ian Ken Morandante. Paano ba makikita ng learner nakasabit na siya? Pag nakasabit na siya, wala na siya doon sa kanyang to-do list. So, ibig sabihin, pag wala na sa to-do list, wala na siyang gagawin kasi nakasabit na siya. Yan. Sa mga may slow internet connection in Maguling, yan, this will be recorded naman on Facebook Live. So you can watch it again. Yun lang, medyo mahaba talaga ito kasi workshop tayo. So let's check kung meron ng nakasagot sa ating quiz. Meron na ba nakasagot sa quiz natin? Meron ng ayun. So meron ng 11. Ayan. Na nakasagot. Tingnan natin sino yung mga yan. So out of meron pa 122 na hindi nakasagot. So meron tayong 11 na naka-turn in. Ito yun sila. So 15 na. Okay. Okay. So pag mag-import na tayo ng grades, okay, yan, lalabas na yan doon sa ating grades na tab mamaya. Pero wag muna. Tingnan muna natin kasi hindi pa tapos lahat. Okay. Tingnan natin sa mga naka-turn in. Anong pwede natin makita doon? Sino pang si Ma'am Nova? Dito pala yan. Sa responses. Ayan. So kung i-open ko yung responses dito sa quiz natin na form, ayan. So sa mga nakakaalam, nakagamit na ng forms, ito yung kalalabasan, no? So score out of 8, bakit 0? Ay, hindi pala ako nag-select ng correct answers. Sorry. my my bad. Okay? So, meron pala dapat answer key. Naglagay lang ako ng points, hindi ko pala pinili yung correct answer. I'm sorry about that. Okay? So at least, no, alam niyo na kung anong dapat hindi niyo gawin. Yan. So you have to select the correct answer pa pala muna. So hindi niya alam kung paano i-check, kaya 0 kayo lahat. Okay? Kasi walang correct answer. Ayun. So, ulitin natin. Sa mga hindi pa nakasagot, ulitin natin. Okay. Marami nang sumagot. Lahat 0 sila kasi wala palang correct answer. And so, merong 8 points. Ito si Ma'am Nova. Yan. So, makikita niyo yung individual answers ng students. Yan. So, alam mo, nagkamali sila. For example, this will be very useful for item analysis or for identifying yung mga misconceptions. No? Yan. So, makikita niyo actually dito kung ilan yung sumagot ng tamang answer, ilan yung pumili ng ganitong choice. So, makikita natin yan dito sa responses, sa summary. Ayan. So, ito yung summary natin. Ayan. Ito, 5 lang. Si Sir Carlos Bantulo. Ayan. So, halimbawa, ganito. So, correct siya sa first question. Ayan. Pero mali siya sa second question. Ang pinili niya, Diosdado S. Ablanido. The correct is Diosdado F. Ablanido. So, on the part of the learner, pag nakikita niya yan, so this is going to be a learning experience din sa kanila. Yan. So, maganda ito for formative assessment para makikita siya ng estudyante. At meron tayong summary, meron tayong individual result. Ayan, automatically, nag-graph din yung average score. Yan. So, pasensya lang kanina yung mga naging 0 kasi wala pa tayong correct answer kanina. And then you're only allowed one response. Okay? So, pwede na actually tayo mag-create ng spreadsheet. Yan. Para nasa spreadsheet yung kanilang mga sagot. That will be easier to process. Yan. So, ito yung mga sagot na nasa the spreadsheet. So, nakasort lang siya by email. So, ano yung best practice natin sa...
Naka-off.
Hello? So, naka-ano lang siya, naka-sort lang siya by email, no?
Siya.
Hello?
Kasi
Nagsasalita.
napindot. Oo, saan yung S? Pero madunggan ka nila?
May nagsasalita.
Hello po.
Paki-mute po ng mic.
Paki-mute po ng mic, Ma'am Daisy.
Okay. So there. So ito, kung halimbawa marami kang estudyante tapos let's say sa isang classroom, sa isang form, maraming different sections, no, na nasasagot. So mahirapan ka mag-sort. Mas madaling mag-sort if you add doon sa sa quiz mo. Meron ka pa rin item asking for their best practice ko na ito. Asking for their last name. Mas maganda pa rin, no? You ask for last name, you require it. Ayan. So hindi ito siya kasali sa points. And then first name. Just for you lang, mas madaling mag-sort. If gusto mo, mag-copy-paste ka na lang ng score from the spreadsheet to your class record. Yan. Kasi pag ganito, ang mangyayari is medyo mahirap kasi hindi siya nakasort tayo. Nagsusort tayo by family name and by male, female. Ano siya nag-change? Last name. First name. Okay. And then also kung pero kayong if you only want to use one form for different sections, okay? Meron ding wag po kayo dito magsagot. Yung teacher, wag muna dito, I'm editing the form. Wag po muna dito magsagot. Okay? So halimbawa, dito naman sa section, pwede sa gawing drop down, halimbawa, Jupiter, Venus, and Mars, for example. Yan. We also require this. Yan. Halimbawa, kasi pag ganito, pag mamaya, nakita natin kanina, di ba, pwede kang mag-reuse. Yan. So, I think mas madali ito if you are planning to reuse your quiz in another classroom. Yan, halimbawa, tapos hindi na ako magta-type ulit ng mga questions ko. So, nagawa ko na yung questions na to, pag gagamitin ko siya sa another classroom, halimbawa, kasi Jupyter section ito, pwede ko siya din gamitin sa Venus class ko, pwede ko na siyang gamitin sa Mars class ko without having to encode the questions. And madali ko siyang masasort kahit isa lang yung response form na isa lang yung results, no, yung responses na form. So halimbawa, okay na to, edited na to ngayon. So kung merong sasagot mamaya doon sa quiz natin, they will be required to encode their last name, their first name, and their section. Tapos lalabas na rin yan sa dito. Okay? So titingnan natin ito sa pag marami ng sumagot. For those who are in the classroom, pwede kayo sumagot ulit. No? Or hindi pala kasi nag-limit pala ako ng one response. Yung mga hindi pa nakasagot, pwede kayong sumagot. Ayan. And then later on, kung gusto mo nang i-separate yung sagot ng lahat ng Jupyter, sagot ng lahat ng Venus na estudyante, at saka sagot ng lahat ng Mars na student, ayan. So, isa-sort ko na lang siya. Okay? So, basically, that covers it all, no? Yan na yung ating demonstration ng Google Classroom. Yan. So, kung meron kayong mga naisip na activities, no, as I've always been saying, our limit is not the technology but our creativity. So, konti lang yung na-demonstrate ko sa inyo, but if you can think of other ways na magamit ninyo yung mga features na nandito, nasa sa inyo po yun. Okay? Yung technology, it's just there. No? Nasa sa atin po ng mga teachers yung creativity kung paano natin siya gagamitin, no? Paano natin siya ma-maximize. And thinking of our limitations, pag let's say mabagal yung internet, no? Pwede mong let's say mas mahaba yung mga deadlines to give your learners longer chance to submit the output, mga ganon, okay? You don't necessarily have to require them to join your online meetup, no? Yung mga sa Google Meet niyo. It depende po talaga sa situation. So there is no one size fit all. So tayo po, assess natin yung situation ng mga estudyante natin. So kaya pinagawa tayo ng DepEd ng mga survey, no? To be able to identify kung ano yung capability ng mga estudyante natin, ay ano yung kanilang situation, saka ano yung preference nila. Okay? So again, hindi ito one size fit all. What might have worked in my case, pwede siyang hindi mag-work sa case ninyo. Yan. Or pwede rin meron kayong maisip na way of using this technology na mas ma-maximize natin yung gamit, no? Mas maano sa inyo, mas convenient for you and for your learners. Okay? So meron ba tayong questions? Ano yung mga difficulties? Sino kanina hindi daw ma-access ang assignment? And so, pag hindi ma-access yung assignment, probably hindi kayo naka-log in or may limit ba kanina, nag-require ba tayo na DepEd email? So, isa yun sa mga pwede nyong makitang reason. Halimbawa, may mga problema din. Baka meron kayong options na nilagay na nakalimit siya for DepEd email. Okay? So, I think wala nang question. So, yun lang po. Yun. So, pag request access, ibig sabihin, hindi allowed yung inyong email. May setting doon na nire-require ng login sa DepEd email. Pag need ng permission. Okay. mga comments. Ayan. Cannot access, yan. So, mga hindi maka-access, kailangan silang, ayan. So kasi ang limit ko kanina is 10:30. Yan, so submitted late na sila, yung mga nag-submit ngayon. Okay, 10 minutes late. So, yan, everything is really recorded, no? Maano siya, automated na lahat. So it will be very useful para sa teacher. Yan. Hindi makasubmit ng quiz result if DepEd email gamit yan. I didn't know about that. Okay. Okay. Yan, unknown user kasi hindi can't access kasi hindi kayo nakalog-in. Dapat nakalog-in. Yan. So yung may mga cannot access, hindi nakalog-in yan. Okay. Yan, so log-in po doon sa Google Drive ninyo. Okay, so that's pretty much it for Google Classroom. You just have to practice using this, no, para maging makita natin kung ano yung mga limitations. Okay? Saka ano yung mga possible errors na pwede natin ma-encounter. Yes, Sir Roy.
Hello, Sir. Yel, may tanong dito na nakita ko. Yung from Sir Gerard Laog-Laog asking whether pwede ba daw ma-integrate si Kotobi sa Google Classroom. If you must know, Kotobi is an e-book creator. So, paano ba daw? Pwede ba daw yun?
Siguro yung output mo sa Kotobi, pwede mo siyang i-share dito. Ganun lang siguro. Halimbawa, naka-generate ka ng say EPUB ba? EPUB ang output, sir. Right? So pwede ka dito pwede ka rin dito mag-upload actually. Yan, material dito. So upload ka ng material. Yan. Ito ka lang file. Yan. Kung saan man yung file.
Tama ko, halimbawa
if it is stored somewhere, halimbawa naka-store din yun sa Google Drive mo, no? Pwede rin galing sa Drive. Yan. So kung marami ka ng mga documents na nasa Drive, pwede mo siyang i-upload din dito. PowerPoint presentations galing sa Drive. Actually, one best practice also actually about materials is all your materials should already be ready din sa Google Drive para hindi ka na mag-upload, no?
Okay.
Yan. Kunin mo na lang siya from Google Drive. Yan. Or kung mga links naman, meron kang list of links.
Okay, thank you, Sir Riel. Another question, kasi ito yung pinakamarami dito. Pwede ba iba-ibang email address ang gagamitin ng mga estudyante natin? Makakapag-access pa rin po ba sila sa...
Opo. Sa ngayon, sir, actually yung mga members natin, iba-iba yung email na ginamit nila. So they were able to join naman.
Kailangan nila mag-login.
Opo, nakalagin.
Okay. So, yun lang talaga ang common, dapat nakalagin lahat sa Google account before sila maka-access. So, okay, sige, siguro dapat clear sa atin yan sa lahat na mga nakikinig na dapat bago kayo maka-access dun sa ating Google Classroom or assignments na ibibigay sa atin, dapat nakalagin tayo. Kasi daliin na natin mag-login sa Google. Every time na mag-open ka ng Google Chrome, ilagin natin yung account natin para at least pwede natin magamit lahat ng features ng ating Google application. Okay, sige, Sir Riel.
Okay, so I think okay na yun. Ano na lang tayo, mag-entertain na lang tayo ng questions kung meron silang questions. And ano bang requirement natin sa kanila, Sir Roy? They have to...
screenshots ng kanilang activity. Dapat sa ngayon, kung tapos na tayo, Sir Riel, bibigyan natin sila ng time until 12 o'clock, tapos balik tayo sa hapon para gumawa ng kanilang sariling Google Classroom. Tapos screenshot lang ang isasubmit. Mamayang alauna tignan natin tapos sagutin natin yung mga tanong nila kung meron silang tanong.
Okay, sige. So saan nyo isasubmit yung kanilang screenshot, Sir Roy?
May link pala akong ibibigay. Meron akong ibibigay na link right now. Kasama na dito yung ating evaluation, pati yung attendance natin for this training. Ang hindi po makasagot dito at saka hindi po makapag-submit, baka hindi po natin magawa ng paraan para mabigyan ng certificate. Kasi I'm planning to, actually, may certificate yung ating webinar. So ito na po yung yung link, binilagay ko na po sa chat group. Tignan niyo na lang po sa chat group. Ayan na po, pakikalat niyo na lang. Then ilalagay ko na lang din po sa sa ating screen, no? Sa live screen, ilagay ko na lang din. Okay? Sige, Sir Riel, baka may mga tanong pa.
Yeah, so if you have questions, I'd be willing to answer.
Hello, Sir Roy. Mama Ribik ni.
Hello, Ma'am Vic.
Hello, Sir Roy. Sir Roy, tanong ko lang sa assignment nila, Sir Roy, regarding sa paggawa ng Google Classroom. Necessary ba na may laman na assignment, quizzes, or number of mga estudyante lang?
Actually, sample lang, pero mas maganda sana, ma'am, kung yung kabuuan. Please off your microphone na para hindi po tayo nagkakaroon ng problema.
Sino ba yun?
Mama
Emily.
Vic, oo, si Emily.
Oo.
Mama Vic, ulitin ko po, yung ating gagawin kasi, kahit hindi naman kabuuan ng classroom ang magagawa natin sa ngayon, ang importante is magawa natin yung process na pinakita kanina ni Sir Ariel. Kasi pag nasunod natin yung process na yun, more or less, nasa 70 to 80% na yung knowledge natin in utilizing Google Classroom. Actually, napakarami pang pwedeng ituro sa atin si Sir Ariel, and we are very lucky to have him right now dahil para turuan tayo sa paggamit niyan. Kaya lang short pa tayo sa time. Maybe the next webinar would be concentrating on the integration of all the Google application in one to help us with our situation right now, which is the new normal, para ma-deliver din natin yung quality education sa ating mga estudyante. So yung kanilang isasubmit lang actually, Ma'am Mavi, is yung screenshot lang nung pagkakasunod-sunod. Pag-create nila halimbawa ng classroom, screenshot nila yon. At hanggang 5 screenshots kasi ang inalaw ko doon sa ating link na kung saan sila mag-attendance, mag-evaluate, saka mag-submit ng output.
Okay, yun sana yung sunod na tanong ko, ilang screenshot. So 5, maximum of 5.
Apo.
Okay, thank you, Sir Roy. Thank you.
Thank you, Ma'am Mavi. So, take it away, Sir Riel. Baka may
Siguro din ako, one thing din siguro baka makalimutan din ng iba na gumawa na tayo ng Google Classroom. We also have to orient our learners kung paano sila sasagot dun sa assignment, kung gumawa tayo ng assignment. Yan. Paano nila ma-access yung mga material. So before natin siya i-implement yung Google Classroom, siguro gagawa tayo ng instructional video or mag-orientation tayo, mag-Google Meet din tayo, or you can send instruction. Siguro, I think, pwede rin tayo gumawa sa Roy, no, ng sige.
So yan, pwede na ito na siya makaber by 20. Kasi sa 20 baka pwede nating doon na lang ilagay dahil magandang topic din yung 20, yung
okay, yung sa online,
yung sa protocol and tips, baka pwede rin doon.
Sige, sir. Or gagawa na lang siguro din ako ng parang step-by-step instruction na
mas
para sa learner naman, no, kung paano sila sasagot ng assignment, saan sila pupunta. Siguro gagawin natin parang infographic style or parang flyer na i-distribute na lang natin sa kanilang lahat na mga
maganda
teachers.
Yun. Oo, magandang yan kasi ang tinuturuan natin ngayon are the teachers. We are upskilling the teachers, pero how about the students?
Opo.
Yung mga students natin kung hindi nila alam gamitin yung ating ini-introduce sa kanila. So maganda rin yan na
Kasi nakita ko ngayon, kasi actually kung gumawa tayo ng assignment, so let's say may ibang teachers, yung sagot nila nilagay nila sa comment, no? May ibang teacher, yung sagot nila, I don't know, basta meron ako na-receive na notification, naging private comment yung kanilang sagot, hindi doon mismo sa document. Yan. So we have to create siguro a guide na intended for the use of the learners.
o siguro maganda rin siguro kung magawa natin na short video tutorial para mas
Sige. Actually, yan yung gagawin namin next week. Meron kaming task, tutusan kami ni Ma'am Donna na gumawa ng mga infomercial, no, na mga videos about the different modalities. So that's one thing siguro we have to add.
Tapos, Serial, may I suggest na siguro na pwede siguro kayong gumawa ng for the CID, no? Tulong na lang din natin sa ating mga curriculum specialist. Sana meron silang YouTube channel para yung mga instructional na mga ganun, pwede natin ilagay doon. Para,
Okay po. Sige, yan yung isang isang trabaho namin ni Sir Tantan sa ni Ma'am Rochelle.
Ayun, maganda. Maganda nga na yan. So, para sila naman lahat doon na lang din sila titingin sa YouTube channel na yun. Pabalik-balik nilang titingnan yun, mamamaster nila makatagalan. Sige, okay. Tuloy na natin yung ating tanong, question and answer. Baka meron pang gusto magtanong. Kung wala naman, pwede na nating pa-start sa kanila yung activity nila.
Ayan. So, nag-comment si Ma'am Evan, no, na we can search din sa YouTube, may mga guides sa Google Classroom. Yan lang. Ang kasi dito din, ang isang concern is grabe ang changes sa Google Classroom kahit within a week, nagbabago yung Google Classroom. So yung tutorial natin ngayon na ginawa, pwedeng next month, iba na naman ang itsura ng Google Classroom. Ganun ka-dynamic ang Google Classroom. Kaya baka yung mapanood natin din na guide sa YouTube is let's say last year pa. So it won't work sa bagong setup ng Google ngayon. No? So kailangan talaga sa updated tayo sa features ng Google. Yung sabi ko kanina, yung link na Google Meet, lang yun last week lang talaga dinagdag yun ng Google. So, okay naman, may mga may mga guides sa YouTube, pero from time to time, you have to choose yung pinaka-recent na mga guides.
Ay, question, Sir Yel. Yung Google Meet ba nakikita sa lahat-lahat ng account na ginamit for classroom or sa DepEd lang na account yun?
Sa lahat din siguro, sir. I think it's an added feature na talaga sa Google Classroom.
Okay. Sige. Thank you.
May nagtanong ulit ano daw yung isa-submit. So merong link sa taas, sir. Ito yung link, i-post natin ulit. It's actually tinyurl.com/webinar-topic1. Sagutin lang yun, tapos merong screenshots doon. You will be required to upload screenshots.
Hello, sir. Question.
Go ahead po.
When using this, kailangan ba talaga natin ng internet?
Sir Ariel, ikaw sasagot?
Okay. So yes, ang Google Classroom is internet-based Yan. Ang pwede nilang gawin is ganito. Halimbawa, hindi sila all the time online. So, ang pwedeng gawin ng learner is, kapag nag-online siya, you can also suggest this to your learner, kapag nag-online si learner, pwede nang i-download yung mga materials na in-upload ni teacher. Tsaka yung assignment, yun lang, except kung forms ito, or kung quiz ito, kasi kailangan na sagutin to online. So, halimbawa naman, meron namang assignment na kagaya ng ginawa ko na Google Docs, pwede nang i-download actually yung Google Docs at trabahuin na yun offline. No? Kung meron mga worksheet, and then i-upload niya lang ulit doon sa assignment as long as ma-upload niya before the due date. Or kung ma-upload naman after the due date, si teacher lang bahala doon kasi magmamark naman yun na submitted late. Okay, so ganun po ang mangyayari. To access the Google Classroom, kailangan natin ng internet. Pero kapag gagawa ng assignment or pag mag-access ng material, meron tayong mga workarounds, no? Based on experience. Pag hindi ganun ka-stable yung internet, or kung paminsan-minsan lang nakakapag-internet ang learner, So pwede mo nang i-download ang material ni estudyante and then i-learn na yung material offline and then yun, ganun ang mga pwedeng options.
Okay po. For instance, kasi ganito yung situation now. We will talk the real situation now. For example, we have 20 students. Tapos out of the 20, only 2 students or pupils have internet access. Ang problema natin ngayon is ang ibang mga pupils pupunta pa ng internet cafe to have an access for that.
Opo. So, yun po, actually, kayo po ang magde-decide kasi iba-iba po tayo ng situation. So, we cannot actually force the students to choose the online modality kung hindi po mag-fit sa kanilang situation. Kaya, with your principal po, you can actually come up with another workaround. So, itong Google Classroom, this is intended for those who have access to the internet. So, kahit hindi 24/7 yung access sa internet, pwede naman kahit intermittent lang, this can still work. Pero pag ganun talaga, walang internet yung bata, we cannot force them to use the online modality. Mag-isip po tayo ng other modality that
alternative.
work for them. Opo, yes ma'am.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Yan lang po.
Okay, in addition po dun sa kay Sir Yel, no? Yung ating training ngayon at saka yung gagawin natin, hindi lang po kasi ito para sa lahat ng may internet, no? Para din ito sa mga walang internet yung gagawin nating training. So ang first topic lang kasi, nakakonsentrate lang siya doon sa mga online, yung mga merong access sa internet. So this is first topic, harnessing the Google application. Our second topic is more about the tips and protocols in conducting online class. Our third topic will be yung sasagot doon sa mga tanong na pag walang internet, we can always go offline. So gagawa tayo ng mga e-books. We are going to create learning resource materials that will be distributed to those learners and teachers natin na may mga gadget. Pag wala talaga, pag sinabing wala talagang gadget, walang internet connection, that's the time siguro na gagamitin natin yung iba pang klaseng modality na kung saan pwede pa rin natin turuan yung mga bata na kanilang dapat matutunan. So sa ngayon, what we are doing right now is to increase the capacity, no? Capacity ng ating mga teachers to conduct other modalities na available. Hindi kasi napakatagal na po ng Google applications dito sa Pilipinas. In fact, Sir Ariel has been using it for how many years na right now, no? Napakadali na ng buhay ng mga teachers natin na marunong gumamit ng Google applications. Ang ginagawa ngayon ng Central Office is tinuturuan lang ang mga teachers ng mga bagong skills na pwede nilang gamitin para maiparating pa rin sa ating mga estudyante despite sa ating problema ngayon sa pandemic na to, makakapag-continue pa rin tayo ng edukasyon para sa ating mga estudyante.
Sir, merong magandang, sige.
Sige na, Sir Riel.
Merong magandang sa chat si Ma'am Mary Faith Ino, gusto ko lang din i-highlight, no? Sabi niya, hello po, sir, since wala pong internet connection at wala pong gadget ang aming mga learners sa Kinam, bali ang magiging output ko as a school head, mga teachers na lang po ang magiging students ko. Yan. Actually, we can use yung ating Google Classroom para sa ating school, learning action cell. No? So, yung para sa continuing learning ng ating mga teachers, yan, as yung mga para sa mga school heads, no, we can use Google Classroom for that purpose. So, maganda din na alam natin, kahit hindi man siya magamit ng mga learners, at least tayo, mga teachers, we can use it. Yeah. Actually, yung ginawa ko ng Google Classroom kanina, kung saan nag-enroll yung mga participants natin ngayon, I will keep it up, no? Sa mga hindi pa naka-join doon, pwede kayo mag-join doon. And I will try my best to also continue sharing mga makikita ko ng mga technology na pwede nilang magamit or mga resources na pwede nilang magamit. I will share it to them using that Google Classroom account. Ayan. So, pwede natin gamitin yon sa atin mismo. We can use it as our learning tool. Kahit hindi ba natin ma-apply sa mga estudyante natin.
Yes, tama po yan, sir. Actually, yung Google is just tip of the iceberg pa lang yan. Napakarami po kung dapat nating matutunan in terms of utilizing ICT or integrating ICT in learning, teaching and learning. Actually, meron din tayong account na ngayon na I think yung iba nakatanggap na, yung iba hindi pa kasi na pending pa yung request natin sa central office. Yung Office 365. Office 365 will be our next topic in the future of webinars, no? So hopefully mabigyan natin ng account kaagad si Sir Ariel para at least explore niya na rin yon at makita niya yung paano gamitin at paano natin ma-integrate or sama sa mga kailangang matutunan ng ating mga teachers. But napakarami po natin dapat gawin ngayon dahil sa sitwasyon natin ngayon, no? So hopefully na lahat ng teachers natin, sa nakikita ko ngayon meron tayo kaninang 190 na member dito sa ating Google Meet at yung live natin umabot na mga 200 kanina, naging 160 na lang tayo. So hopefully ma-spread out pa natin ng husto yung ating advokasya na actually nakita ko yung flip classroom na to ni Sir Ariel when I was still new at the DepEd, no, doon sa ICT Summit, and it was very interesting pero very challenging naman dahil nga doon sa internet connectivity. Right now siguro dapat ma-realize na natin yan, Sir Ariel, yung dream mo talaga na ma-i-implement sa buong Sarangani ang flip classroom. Hopefully, no? Meron pa tayong Moodle, sir, no? Sir Ariel?
Moodle. Yeah.
Para sa offline naman nila, para sa mga school-based naman.
Yeah. Pwede yan offline, pwede rin yan online.
Okay. Sige. Sige, Sir Ariel, thank you.
Meron akong gustong idagdag, no? Pwede ba ako mag-share screen ulit?
Okay, sige go. I-share lang screen mo, Sir Ariel.
Wala kay, hindi pa siya lumalabas. Wait lang. Walang lumalabas. Ito na. Ano kasi ang chat kanina. Okay, meron ako gusto idagdag sa mga nandito pa. How do we maximize our Google Drive? Yan, na ano ko lang din. Kasi doon sa pinost ni Ma'am Inong, no, about, ito naman para sa atin ng mga teachers. We also have one practice na ginagawa. Itong shared drive. If you go to your Google Drive, no, I don't know if you are already taking advantage of your Google Drive accounts. The Google Drive actually natin sa yung DepEd is sabi ko kanina, it's a Google Suite for Education account. That's why it's very powerful compared to regular Gmail accounts. The first thing is tingnan niyo dito sa baba, yung sa storage ko, left side of the screen. Ayan. For regular accounts, hanggang 15 gigabytes lang tayo. At tingnan nyo, ang nakalagay sa aking Google Drive ngayon, I already have 39.2 gigabytes of data. So lumampas na tayo dun sa limit ni Google na 15 gigs. So ibig sabihin, mas powerful yung ating Google Suite accounts. Nag-expand siya depending on our need. The more files you have, the bigger your storage becomes. Yeah. So lumalaki siya. So we take advantage of that. So pwede natin ilagay dito lahat ng mga learning materials, no, yung ating tawag nito, yung mga digital materials natin, ilagay natin dito sa Google Drive. And one really good thing about Google Drive is that mas hirap man tong laptop natin, mawala yung mga physical drives natin, mga USB and everything. Our files will stay here as long as we have access to our email account, yung DepEd email natin. Okay. Kasi hindi siya talaga mawawala, hindi pa siya napapasukan ng virus, hindi siya mako-corrupt, no? So lahat ng mga lahat ng mga files natin ilalagay natin dito sa Google Drive. I think marami nang gumagawa nito, but for those who are here in the group chat who has not yet taken advantage of this, please do so. Meron pa akong gustong idagdag din about Google Drive. Dito sa may left side, titingnan nyo. Meron nakalagay na shared drive, no? Dito sa shared drives, pwede kayong mag-create ng mga drives and you can add people to join the drive. Ito ginagawa natin ng mga estudyante kapag nagsasubmit sila sa akin ng mga malalaking files na hindi ko pwedeng ma-access. Dito nila sinasubmit sa shared drive. Meron din kami sa faculty namin. Yan. So, magka-create ka lang ng drive dito, no? Sa shared drive. Create ka lang ng bagong shared drive dito sa plus. And then, pag nag-create ka na ng shared drive, for example, halimbawa, ano bang pangalan ng eskwelahan ni Ma'am Faith? Kinam. Okay. Kinam, NHS. Files. Lahat ng files nila na importante, pwede yung mga learning materials, yan. Pwede nang ilalagay dito. At pwede na itong i-share sa mga other members, yan. Sa mga teachers. Yan. And all of them can actually access this depending on ano yung mga pwedeng bibigay mo na access sa kanila. Pwedeng manager, yan. Yan. Ikaw talaga yung may-ari nito na pwedeng content manager, they can add, they can move, they can delete files. Pwede sila contributor, they can just add files, hindi sila pwedeng mag-delete para safe yung mga files ninyo. Pwedeng commenter lang sila and viewer lang sila ng files. Pwedeng mga memos ninyo, dito nyo ilalagay. Okay. So yun yung ginagawa namin, yung mga shared namin ng mga forms and everything, lahat ng mga importanteng documents na dito siya sa shared drive and give access to different people. So sa amin, meron kaming 36 teachers na merong access to this file sa amin. So this is another best practice that you can do in your respective schools para, yan, especially that we have DepEd emails, ma-save yung ating mga documents. Yan. So madali lang din, pwede na lang din itong i-delete, no? Yung file ninyo. And another thing, meron din akong gustong i-share para sa mga stop na lang ito sa sharing. Para sa mga gumagamit ng Android phones, no? One of your problems kapag masyado na kayong maraming apps na ini-install kagaya ng Google Classroom, it will take space in your phone. At saka kapag marami tayong dina-download ng mga files, etc. sa phones natin, madali siyang nafe-feel. What I can suggest is you look at your, alam niyo yung Google Photos na app. I don't know if you're also using this. That is one way so that you can clear your phone, no, of your unnecessary photos. Ang usually ginagawa ng iba, they upload it on their social media para ma-clear yung kanilang mga photos. But there is a Google Photos app, no, sa Android, no, sa Android phones. So Google Photos, you just plug in your DepEd email, gamitin niyo yung DepEd email niyo, and then you set your backup. Maglalagay, tignan niyo doon sa settings, merong backup. Yan. So you make backup automatic kapag nakakonect kayo sa Wi-Fi. Yan. Para automatically yung mga photos niyo nakasync na doon sa Google Photos. Yan. Hindi ko lang ito-show yung aking Google Photos account kasi may mga private pictures ako na makikita niyo. Ayan. So you can actually do that. Malaki din yung storage natin so you don't have to worry. So once the backup na, you can actually clear your photos automatically doon. May option doon sa Google Photos na you can automatically delete those photos that have already been backed up or nandun na sa cloud. So you can also take advantage of that para hindi mapuno yung mga phones ninyo. So I think
okay, so that's it. Another learning. Ako actually hindi ko rin alam yun. May Google Photos pala. Meron din ba sa iOS doon, sir?
Yeah, you can also download Google Photos sa iOS.
Okay, so that's good, no? Marami tayong natutunan ngayong araw na ito, ah. Thank you, Sir Riel. Pero may tanong dito, gusto ko lang sagutin muna, Sir Riel, no? Kasi may tanong si Sir Randy Alcaya. Sir Roy, meron po mga tablet na na-distribute na dito sa school namin. Pwede pahiram sa students para ma-realize ang online na klase. As of the moment po kasi, we are still waiting for the memorandum coming from sa central office kung anong gagawin natin dun sa mga tablet PCs na yan. Actually, just this week yata merong pinaikot na memorandum ang ating supply officer for inventory, no? Inventory ng mga DCP natin. Dahil doon ibabase yung decision ng ating central office kung what will happen with our DCP tablets. Pero ang priority, as what we have talked about with during our meeting, no, National ITO meeting, ang priority will be the educators muna. Yung teachers muna natin ang ating bibigyan before ang mga student. Kasi ano naman ang ibibigay na lesson ng teacher kung wala naman siyang magagawa na mga learning resource material dahil wala naman siyang gagamitin. So parang sila yata ang most priority ngayon na mabigyan ng kung halimbawa man, no, na i-distribute yung tablet. So teachers ang ating priority na mabigyan muna yan. Pero natay pa rin natin yung decision ng central office. Hanggang ngayon wala pa kasing memo kaya please huwag niyo munang galawin yung mga DCP natin kasi baka pag nawala yan magkakaproblema tayo o kung masira man o mawala. So as of now, anyway mga next week siguro baka lumabas na yon kasi before opening of classes yata ang target eh. So, yun lang naman, Sir Randy. Tapos may tanong pa dito, what to upload po? Do we need to create our own classroom from Cheryl Patente? Yes po, gagawa po kayo ng classroom dun sa account nyo. Kahit na, basta man, pakita nyo lang yung process tapos 5 screenshot po ang i-upload nyo dun sa link na binigay ko. You will be given enough time to create your own classroom. Ang ano kasi nito, ang point kasi nito is for you to understand the process, no? Kung paano siya kini-create. Kasi medyo medyo marami siyang dapat sundin na proseso. So pag naka-create kayo ng classroom nyo, naka-add kayo ng assignment, screenshot nyo lang 'yon. Tapos yun yung i-submit nyo. So pwede rin kayo na lang din na mag-teacher ang mag-a-access nun ng temporary nyo na classroom para makita nyo lang kung paano ang flow. So we'll be waiting for your submission of for the submission of your output. Sige, Sir Yel, anything na idagdag mo pa?
May nag-post si Ma'am Judith. Ma'am Donna will be with us daw in a while. Yan. Pwede ba daw cellphone gamitin sa paggawa? Ma'am Cheryl Joy, yes ma'am. Pwede po tayo sa cellphone. You download Google Classroom on your phone. Hi, Ma'am Donna is here.
Hi, Ma'am Don. Good afternoon, Ma'am Don.
Hello everyone! Andyan pa kayo?
Of course, nagulat sa gwapa na mga CID chief.
Sige, salamat.
Okay, sige Ma'am Don. May message Ma'am Don will give. Ma'am Judith, okay, ano na lang Ma'am Judith.
Okay, hello everyone. Thank you for listening about Google Classroom. Marami tayong natutunan. At this time, we are so happy that our beautiful CID chief had give us time. Of course, kagagaling lang niya sa meeting with our CID supervisors and district head. Now, wala pa na siya. Nakalipstick na Ma'am Don. Okay pa?
Naka-lipstick, erase na.
Sige, okay. Ma'am Don, please give a message. Of course, we have 100 participating the webinar this time. So again, participant, I am requesting you to mute your microphone so that you could hear Ma'am Don, our chief, for her message to everyone. Ma'am Don.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the new normal.
Morning,
So, at the outset, I would like to say thank you to Roy, to Judith, and Ariel. They are the busiest people nowadays sa SEO because they are preparing all of us, not only teachers, pati kahit nga kami, may mga technical assistants na kaming na re-receive coming from them. So thank you so much, team, for having this web. Well, of course, we are preparing all of you, especially the teachers, to the new normal because we will be offering different modalities comes August 24. So at least by June, kasi you will be reporting, all of you, lahat ng mga teachers will be reporting physically sa ating mga schools. Pero kung hindi man kaya because of the GCQ protocols, then you can have work from home. So kung work from home kayo, may mga tasks din na ipapagawa sa inyo as regards the different modalities. So, as you know, we'll be offering 5 modalities, no? Number 1 is face-to-face. Ito yung usual na ginagawa natin, but of course, considering social distance and all. And online. So, most probably, half of our population can have the online. So, ito yung ginagawa nyo ngayon is one way of preparing you para sa ating online instructions. Our worry, no? Kasi may mga teachers tayo na senior citizen na, and then physically at saka hindi rin kaya masyado ang online technology. So dito ngayon, kasi kayo ang nauna, please adapt one teacher. Nasa palagay ninyo, mahihirapan siyang mag-embrace a new normal because we cannot afford to have one teacher left behind kasi hindi niya alam ang technology, tapos may edad na siya at saka sickly na siya. Hindi rin pwedeng iparetire natin sila. So please adapt one teacher na at least mabigyan ninyo ng one-on-one mentoring kung ano man yung nalalaman ninyo. No, through online. Kasi we really need to support one another. Hindi ito siya pabilisan, hindi po siya pabraytay kung kinsa ang most techy. Ito panahon itong mga millennials. Hindi natin pwedeng sabihin kasi we still have 30% na mga teachers na kagaya ko, hindi na millennials. Pero nasa serbisyo pa rin. So yung mga teachers natin na very active sa technology, please assist your co-teachers also. Pati na ang mga school heads na rin, medyo na rin sa mga technology. And also, keep on browsing Google o kung ano pa na ang pwede natin mapagkuhaan ng mga information that would prepare you para sa opening of classes. So definitely our classes will open on August 24. Pero June 1 nasa school na kayo. Ano ang mayayari sa June 1? Most probably ang mga teachers will prepare lesson guides based on the modalities na ibibigay sa inyo. Kung face-to-face ang ibigay sa inyo, see to it na magampanan ninyo kung paano siya gagawin. Kung online, ganun. At saka ang learn. So don't think medyo difficult. Saan papasok ng difficulties? Become to think of it. Ang sa face-to-face natin, 15 to 20 lang na bata ang allowed sa classroom. So, di ba sa regular natin, you have 40 learners. So just imagine, you will have 2 classes sa 40 na bata. So, medyo mas malaking trabaho, so kailangan mentally and emotionally and psychologically ready tayo. I hope pagdating ng June 1, we will have an open heart, open mind. No? Yun ang pinaka-importante ngayon. We should have an open heart to embrace the new normal. Since andito tayo sa DepEd, andito tayo sa system na ito, what we have to do is to adjust and adapt. So if we cannot adjust and if we cannot adapt, and then magiging miserable ang life natin, it's better to I think, resign or no, retire. Pwede na siya mag-retire. Because we cannot afford to have a teacher na hindi maka-embrace. Kasi like we have 6,000 plus na teachers. Kung may 1,000 teachers lang tayo na hindi maka-embrace sa new normal, that is something na may malaking effect sa education natin. So my appeal to all of you, not only to our teachers, but also to our school heads, our PSDSS, be an instrument, be an advocate to the new normal. Tanong ang mga parents, teacher, anong plano ng DepEd Sarangani para sa opening of classes? So ang sagot ninyo ay, we will be opening by August. Sa August 1, we will be preparing our learners para sa psychosocial na activities. And then by June 1, magre-report na ang mga teacher, mag-prepare na sa different modalities. So the most important malaman at ma-advocate natin ay ang 5 modalities na piliin ng ating mga parents sa pagpapaaral ng nilang mga anak. So when you convey the message about different modalities, you should know kung ano itsura ng face-to-face, ano ang itsura ng online, ano ang itsura ng modular, ano ang blended. No? So that magiging guide tayo para maliwanagan ang mga parents. You know what? May mga parents tayo na they opted not to send their children ngayong pasukan. No? Even me, my husband, nag-declare na hindi niya na pa-eskwelahon si Peach kay delikado for safety reason. But if we lay down the different modalities, baka ma-change din ang mind nila. Basta over and above, sa lahat-lahat ng mga innovations, lahat-lahat ng mga creativity natin sa DepEd, over and above is the safety of everybody. When the LGU says na hindi pwedeng lumabas ng bahay, hindi pwedeng mag-transfer si teacher, magtabok, maghatod og module, wala kita mahimo dira. We will always abide to what LGU is saying. So, klaro na siya. But we will not stop thinking kung paano din tayo makatulong sa bata, sa parents, at saka sa co-teachers natin, at saka sa DepEd. So with this, maraming salamat. Thank you. Thank you, Gid, sa team ni Roy. Tantan, ikaw na. Si Roy, si Ariel, Judith. Salamat, Gid, Jud, sa ikaw na, Gid. Kung mag-DepEd Sarangani Cares, ikaw, Gid, ang bida. Pag modular, you can really count on Judith. It's modular. Basta modular, wala na ko hands up na ko siya ang mas nakabalo sina. So thank you. We will coming up an infomercial. Sila Ariel ang gagawa to, si Roy, si Tanta, si Rochelle, with different education program supervisors para agawan ng video ang different modalities. So i-share nyo ito ha. Bawat teacher dapat mag-share sa post ko. Maghambal ganin ko sa post ko. Please share. I-share nyo man. Hindi nyo lang pag-ilay. Pareho kagabi, nag-post ako about doses sa ere. So kailangan updated tayo. Kasi alam nyo kung ano yung DepEd doses sa ere. Bawat division ay finifeature nila ang kanilang programs and projects. So hindi lang tayo kontento sa division natin, baka maka-benchmark tayo sa ibang division. And lastly, ang guest ng DepEd doses mamayang hapon ay si Yusek Diosdado San Antonio. Don't miss this kasi we will really be guided kung anong gagawin natin sa ating curriculum. So at the bottom of my heart, Roy, damogid na salamat ha. Okay. So yun lang. Good morning.
Thank you, Ma'am Don. Thank you so much, Ma'am Don. Okay, maraming salamat po for. We are so inspired with your message. Okay, you can now take your lunch because for Sir Roy, Ma'am Don, salamat kaayo. We are really inspired working with you. Okay. Sir Roy, it's already 11:19. How is the temperature now? Can we have a break so that they could also do their output? What is the pleasure?
Yes po. Yun po ang actually ang plan natin. Dapat before lunch mag-break na tayo para magkaroon pa sila ng time to make their output. Tapos submit na lang nila. Bali, monitor na lang natin submission by 1 p.m. Mag-start tayo ng 1 p.m. Kasi baka may mga tanong pa sila kung paano, baka magkaroon pa sila ng problema kung saan pupunta halimbawa, no? So, I hope na 1 p.m. makabalik tayo para sagutin yung mga tanong nila kung meron man. Kung wala naman, then we will just wait for the submission ng kanilang mga result. Pero i-add ko lang, Ma'am Jude, maganda yung sinasabi ni Ma'am Don na mag-adapt ng isang teacher na yung talagang hindi marunong kasi para din magkaroon din sila ng idea kung ano yung integration of ICT into teaching and learning. Kasi kawawa naman kung halimbawang hindi sila matuto, sila kasi yung magiging frontliner natin pag ang modality is face-to-face kasi nga hindi naman sila pwede sa technology. Mas maganda sana kung lahat at least merong idea or may skill para gawin yung mga bagay na dapat na magawa natin.
Okay, that is so exciting, Sir Roy, kasi hindi lang tayo yung natututo dito, but we could also adapt our co-teacher to learn more about ICT, especially this Google Classroom na talagang nagagamit. Not only the principal, the teacher, but also the principal, pwede siya makagawa ng kanyang sariling Google Classroom. Di po ba? Okay, I think meron tayong tanong na hindi pa nasagot this time. Meron pa ba? Naka-address kay Ariel, more or less, good morning Ma'am Donna, naka-address kay Ariel. Sir Ariel, may time limit ba ang pag-join ng bata sa isang Google Classroom? Oo, Sir Ariel. May time limit ba ito, Sir Ariel?
Wait lang, kaya kung gi-off akong mic. Wait lang. Alright. Kaya bulo ko Ma'am Charlotte ng question. So, as long as the student has the key, no? As long as ang imuhang classroom wala pa nimo gi-archive, they can join. So wala siya time limit. Ang manner lang naman of joining the classroom is by entering the key. Yan, katong gihatag ng code. So as long as na siya code ang bata, anytime, no? Pwede siya mag-join.
Okay, another question, Sir Roy, kasi ang time naman is nadi-design ni teacher yun, nasa setting niya yun. Ito naman is a very practical question kasi hindi tayo lahat nakaka-open ng laptop, ang cellphone kasi ngayon panahon to, pwede na natin gamitin. May question dito si Cheryl Joy Vivas ng Malungon, I think. Sir, pwede sa cellphone gamitin sa paggawa?
Yes ma'am, nasagot ko yun kanina ma'am. They can use the phone. Pwede.
Okay, for Danilo Alinton, I'm sorry for Sir Danilo, what time pwede ipasa ang mga output natin? We have the whole day, no, Sir Roy? Tama ba? We have the whole day and I think until tomorrow, we could kasi madali lang naman si Google Classroom. Makagawa lang sila ng kanilang klase, i-upload nila na dito, no? Okay.
May link, Ma'am Jed, excuse me na, may link po ako na post doon sa chat box. Tapos sa live, nakikita rin naman nila yung link na yon. Doon lang po nila i-click lang po nila yung link.
Time limit, Sir Roy. When? Until when? Isasubmit ang output.
Ay,
so
hanggang,
making the certificate also.
Hanggang ngayong araw lang kasi mahaba-haba naman yung ating time.
Okay.
We have all afternoon. So, I will be monitoring all the output hanggang mamayang 7 o'clock siguro ng gabi. Screenshots lang naman na 5 shot lang naman yung kailangan natin.
Okay, for our participants, you can have your screenshot, 5 po na screenshot. I-upload natin sa ating attendance and evaluation. Be sure to be honest in responding sa ating evaluation because we really need your honest feedback so that on the next webinar we could improve, no? At marami tayong dapat i-improve. And yung mga queries ninyo about the new normal, we could also answer to that, no? Kasi alam ko nahihirapan pa tayo. We are still studying sa anong mangyayari sa ating opening of the classes. Okay, Sir Roy, I'll turn over this for you for any message and reminders.
Wala na po kasi tapos na po nilang may mga naka-post na dito, tapos na po daw sila ng output nila kapag evaluate na rin, so i-check ko na lang. So we will be back. Serial, balik ba tayo ng 1 o'clock to answer some queries or...
Yeah, pwede rin, and then I can also show some yung other ways of mga examples ng assignments na pwede nilang gawin using also Google Apps. Yun.
So that would be this 1 o'clock, Serial?
Pwede ta mga 1:30.
Sige, 1:30. Okay, sige.
Tapos merong nag-ask, Sir Roy, pwede mahingi ang slides. Make sure na mo dito sa katong Google Classroom na ako ang i-create. I will post the slide there dito lang sa classwork, no? And
ayun,
then,
maganda yun para mapilitan kayo mag-login. Para mapilitan sila mag-login dun sa sa classroom. Sige, maganda yun.
Tapos kay Ma'am Emeline Anin yun, nakagawa na po ako ng Google Classroom kasi straight teaching po ako. Dapat po ba iba-ibang classroom per subject? Depende po sa inyo, ma'am. For me, ang ginawa ko, I create different Google Classroom per subject para mas organize ang mga materials, no? And also, my learners are also grouped into specific na section. I don't know with your situation, kung one section lang sila, mas maganda pa rin siguro na iba-ibang classroom per subject. Anyway, libre naman ang mag-create ng Google Classroom, wala namang bayad. So okay lang, mag-create tayo ng maraming Google Classroom, iba-iba per subject area. That way, we can organize our assignments, our learning materials better. Para yan kay Ma'am Emeline, anin yun.
Okay. Maraming salamat, Sir Ariel. So this time, we will have our break and we will be back at 1:30. So while you're doing your output, nakaantabay lang po kami dito sa chat box and sa online natin, sa live streaming, and we can answer your queries online also. No? So let's have our break and thank you so much for listening. See you this afternoon.